Hi, I'm Zune. In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this flattering A-line skirt available in sizes 0 to 30. There are two hem options for this skirt, so you can choose whichever method that's convenient for you. Be sure to add an appropriate hem allowance for the hem type you will be doing. 1 inch for the turned hem, and 1/4 inch should be fine for the double folded hem. You can easily transfer the darts onto your fabric by cutting the dart out on the pattern. Then place the pattern on the wrong side of your fabric and draw in the dart with a tailor's chalk. To draw the dart on the opposite side, simply flip the pattern over. Fold the dart in half, match and pin along the dart legs. Then pin the dart horizontally so they'll be easier to remove during sewing. When stitching the front and back darts, do not backstitch the tip of the dart. Leave a long tail of thread instead. Tie the first knot loosely so as not to pinch the dart point. Then tie 1 or 2 more regular knots before clipping the tail. Let's give the darts a nice pressing using the appropriate heat setting for your fabric. The front darts will be pressed toward the center front, while the back darts toward center back. Before we install the zipper, let's stabilize that area first with a 1 inch wide fusible interfacing. The length should be 1 inch longer than your zipper opening. Press the interfacing onto the wrong side of the fabric. Serge or zigzag the raw edge of the center back pieces. Then pin the 2 back pieces right sides together. Measure the zipper opening and mark it. Use a regular stitch length to stitch from the hem to that marking. Backstitch and then baste from that point to the waist with a long stitch. Press the center back seam open. Pin and mark the end of the zipper opening so you can see it from both the right and wrong sides of the fabric. On the right side, draw a 1/4 inch guideline along the center back seam and around the zipper end marking. If you're using a long zipper, place the zipper head well above the waist. This will make sewing easier as the zipper head will not get in the way later. Sew a bar tack about 1/2 inch below the end mark on the skirt. Then clip your zipper 1 inch below the bar tack. Place the right side of the zipper on the wrong side of the skirt, making sure to line up the zipper teeth along the center back seam. You can either hand sew a basting stitch or use Scotch tape to keep the zipper in place. Flip the skirt over onto the right side and sew along the guideline with an average stitch. Next, remove the basting stitches or the tape. Then, use your seam ripper to remove the center back basting stitches. Serge or zigzag the raw edges of all the front and back sides. If you're doing a turned hem, then you will want to serge the raw edge of the hem now. You can leave the raw edge of the hem unfinished if you're doing the double folded hem. If you're new to serging, you may want to sew your side seams first and then finish the raw edges with a serger. This will give you more control of your fabric. Pin the front and back pieces right sides together and stitch. Then press the seams open. If you will be easing in the waist to the waistband later, go ahead and sew an easing stitch within the seam allowance of the skirt's waist. After applying interfacing to the wrong side of the waistband, press under 3/8 of an inch on the unnotched side of your waistband. Some fabrics, like this wool blend I'm using, hate to be pressed. I like to use washable glue or this heat and bond double-sided adhesive to hold folds in place. Be sure to cut the strip smaller than the fold so that it won't ruin your iron. Fold the ends under 3/8 of an inch as well. With right sides together, let's match and pin all the notches on the waistband to the skirt's waist. Even though they are the same length, you may notice that the skirt's waist seems larger than the waistband. If you've sewn an easing stitch on the skirt's waist, you can gently pull on that thread to match the skirt's curved waist to the waistband. Stitch the waistband to the skirt and then cut off the excess zipper. Press the seam allowance up. You can use a bit of washable glue or a small heat and bond strip to keep the overlaps bottom fold in place. Fold the waistband down towards the inside of the skirt. Finish the waistband edge by hand or top stitch with a machine. Now it's time to add some fasteners. Hand sew the hook to the overlap and the bar to the underlap of the waistband. For the turned hem, press the hem up 1 inch and slip stitch by hand, picking 1 or 2 threads with a needle, and then inserting the needle about 1/2 inch through the serged seam. Press up 1 1/4 inch for the double folded hem. Fold under 1/4 inch, and then either slip stitch by hand or top stitch with a machine. And that's it. Your skirt is now finished. Sewing should be fun and therapeutic, so don't get frustrated. If you need any help, please don't hesitate to contact me. You can email me or message me on my Instagram or Facebook. Happy sewing!